GETTY Yaya Toure left Man City after 8 years at the club. Toure claims his final season at Manchester City was ruined by his old boss, who he says has a problem with African players. In the explosive interview with France Football he said, "I want to be the one who breaks the Guardiola myth. I tried to understand it and I even asked coaches for my stats. When I realized that they were as good or better, both in training and in matches, as those who played and were younger than me, I understood that it was not a question of physicality. He was cruel with me." Do you really think he could have been like that with Andres Iniesta? It got to the point I asked myself if it was because of my color. Related articles: Yaya Toure is leaving Manchester City after 8 successful years, and he received a brilliant send-off. Getty Colo left joins Yaya for his framed shirt presentation. "I want to be the one who breaks the Guardiola myth." Yaya Toure: "I'm not the first. Other Barca players asked the question too. Maybe us Africans aren't always treated the same by certain people. He's too intelligent to be caught. He'll never admit. But the day he picks a team with 5 Africans in it, I promise I will send him a cake." City last night declined to make any formal response to Toure's claims, but it is not the first time the player and Guardiola have clashed. The midfielder was sold to City by then Barcelona boss Guardiola in 2010. They also fell out in Guardiola's first season at City after Toure's agent Dimitri Selic claimed the midfielder was humiliated by his manager after being left out of the club's Champions League squad. Getty: Pep Guardiola won the Premier League title in his second season at Man City. Toure had to wait until the final home game last season against Brighton for his first Premier League and played just 228 minutes in the league in total as City won the title. In 2014, before Guardiola arrived at the club, Toure threatened to quit the club for failing to mark his 31st birthday properly. Toure now says Guardiola is only interested in players who worship him. This is his project. And woe to him who does not belong to it, he said. Barcelona, he did not invent it. He just had the intelligence to adapt what Johan Cruyff had set up. He wants to be considered a genius. He loves it. But there is a lot of comedy behind all this. He creates a character. When I see him scratching his head during a match to show that he thinks thoroughly, it makes me laugh. It's comedy. Pep likes to dominate and wants to have obedient players who lick his hands. I do not like this kind of relationship. I respect my coach, but I am not his thing. Like all players, I have bickered with my coaches. But at a certain point, men who do not understand each other reconcile. This is not possible with Pep, who is very rigid. The other players will never admit it publicly, but some have already told me that they ended up hating him. Because he manipulates and plays a lot with your head. He was a hypocrite praising me, but I let him do it. I would have preferred to have no ceremony and leave with my head higher. I have the impression that Pep, without acknowledgement or respect, did everything to spoil my last season. City said they were aware of the remarks but declined to comment on the matter. Related articles.